You think you're just a bad sleeper? You're not. You've been trained by years of misinformation, by habits that feel harmless, by routines that once worked but now sabotage you. And if you don't get serious about fixing it, you won't just lose sleep. You'll lose your sharpness, your balance, your immune system, your memory, your independence. Let me be clear. Sleep isn't a luxury. It's a survival system. And I've worked with hundreds of people who came to me broken, exhausted, barely holding it together. Not one of them was beyond help. But every one of them needed to be shaken out of denial before they could turn things around. If you're someone who lies awake night after night, staring at the ceiling, watching the clock mock you, dreading the next day's fog and frustration, I'm talking to you. This isn't about comfort. It's about restoration. You want change? It starts here. So listen carefully. I'm going to walk you through what truly destroys your sleep and what to do about it. I'll tell you what I've seen in real cases, in real lives. Not theory, not fluff, just what works. First, let's destroy one myth right now. The idea that older adults just need less sleep. Wrong. You don't need less sleep. You've just been struggling with poor sleep so long. Your body has adapted to survive on less. That's not health, it's coping. And it's costing you. Now let's dive in. The first thing wrecking your sleep is your relationship with light. Yes, light. Every single person I've helped who struggled with sleep had one thing in common. Their circadian rhythm was off. That's the internal clock that runs your entire biological system. And the fastest way to ruin it? Artificial light at night and not enough daylight in the morning. One client, David, age 67, former high school teacher, retired 5 years ago, told me he was going to bed at 11, waking up at 3, couldn't fall back asleep. He thought it was age. It wasn't. His daily routine? Wake up at 7, stay indoors most of the day, binge watch Netflix at night, iPad in bed until midnight. I had to snap him out of it. We flipped his pattern. Morning walk, within 30 minutes of waking. No sunglasses. No screen time 2 hours before bed. Warm, dim lighting after dinner. He fought it at first. But 2 weeks in, he was sleeping 6 solid hours. 4 weeks later, 8 hours, uninterrupted. If you're not exposing your brain to real sunlight in the first hour of the day, and if you're flooding it with blue light at night, you're sending mixed signals to the very system designed to protect you. It's not optional. It's biology. Second, your bedtime is a lie. Don't tell me you go to bed at 10. That's just the time you lie down. What you do for the 2 hours before that, that's your real bedtime. And most of you are sabotaging it. I had a client, Rachel, 72, widow, living alone, sweet woman, spent most evenings watching crime shows. Murder, betrayal, suspense, just before bed. She'd lie there wondering why her heart was racing. Melatonin couldn't help her because adrenaline was still flooding her system. We had a hard conversation. I told her, your body's not confused. It's doing exactly what you've trained it to do. React. Stay alert. Prepare for danger. You want sleep? Give your nervous system a fighting chance. We replaced her evening screen time with a strict wind-down routine, gentle stretching, herbal tea, a physical book, not a screen, not a thriller. She hated it at first, called it boring, but she started falling asleep within 15 minutes, instead of lying awake for 2 hours. Let me say this again. What you do in the last 90 minutes before sleep is not passive time. It's programming. You're writing code for your body's operating system. Garbage in, garbage out. Now let's talk about the way you lie there, waiting to sleep. Here's the problem. You've turned your bed into a battleground. Your bed should be a place of release. But for most people I work with, it's where they rehearse failure. They lie down, don't feel sleepy immediately, and panic. That panic becomes the habit. And that habit becomes insomnia. One of my most intense cases was Joseph, 74. Vietnam vet. Proud, tough guy? But he came into my office after months of sleeping no more than 2 hours a night. He told me the bed felt like a trap. He was exhausted, but the second he lay down, he felt under attack. Restless legs, racing thoughts, heart pounding. What did we do? We took back control. Rule 1. If you're not asleep in 20 minutes, get out of bed. Don't wait. Don't argue. Don't doom scroll on your phone. Get up. Go to a different room. Sit quietly. Read something neutral. Wait for the wave of sleepiness to return. Then, and only then, go back to bed. Within 2 weeks, Joseph's panic response weakened. Within 4, he was getting 5 hours. By the 8th week, he was at 7. Not perfect, but life-changing. The key wasn't medication. It was behavioral. It was pattern interruption. And now, let's face the ugliest truth. Most chronic insomniacs develop an identity around their struggle. They say, "I'm just a bad sleeper." They wear it like a badge. It becomes a script, and they follow it without question. I'm telling you now, stop saying that. You're not broken. You're patterned. And patterns can be reprogrammed. Your brain is plastic. That means it rewires based on repetition. Every time you give in to the story that your sleep is doomed, you reinforce the very cycle you want to escape. And every time you interrupt that pattern, even once, you start to loosen its grip. The solution isn't magic. It's mastery. And mastery doesn't require perfection. It requires persistence. In part 2, we'll go even deeper. I'll show you the most dangerous hidden habits that look harmless but destroy your sleep from the inside out. And I'll give you the tools, concrete, battle-tested tools, that I've used with hundreds of clients to take their nights back. But don't wait for the second half to act. Tonight, when you shut off this video, I want you to make one change. Just one. Expose your eyes to real sunlight within an hour of waking. Or turn off all screens 2 hours before bed. Or get out of bed if you're lying awake too long. You don't need a miracle. You need momentum. Are you ready to stop being a victim of your nights? You're still here. That tells me one thing. You're serious. Good. Because the worst habits aren't the obvious ones. The real killers of sleep are the quiet routines, the normal things you do every day that feel innocent. But they're wrecking your nervous system, hijacking your hormones, and teaching your brain to stay alert when it should be shutting down. Let's expose them. Here's the first one. Caffeine afternoon. Don't roll your eyes. I know what you're thinking. I've been drinking coffee my whole life. Sure, but your body isn't the same as it was 20 years ago. Your liver clears caffeine more slowly now. A cup at 2 p.m. can still be in your bloodstream at midnight. One client, Barbara, 75, lovely woman, swore up and down that caffeine didn't affect her. "I can fall asleep just fine," she said. But then she'd wake up at 1 a.m., 3 a.m., couldn't stay asleep. We ran a test. 1 week without afternoon coffee. Nothing else changed. Her sleep got deeper. Fewer wake-ups. More dreaming. She called me crying. Not because she was tired, but because she realized how long she'd accepted shallow sleep as normal. Caffeine lingers. And if it's in your system, your body won't reach deep, restorative sleep. Not the kind that heals. Not the kind that resets your brain. Cut it off. Noon. That's your new rule. Black and white. No exceptions. Next, alcohol before bed. You think a glass of wine helps you sleep? No, it sedates you. That's not the same. Sedation is like knocking out your brain. Sleep is an active, organized process. Alcohol short-circuits REM cycles, messes with your core temperature, and spikes cortisol as it leaves your system. That's why you wake up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing. I had a client, Frank, 68, told me a nightcap was his secret weapon. Said he slept like a log after 2 whiskeys. But then came the memory issues, mood swings, high blood pressure. His wife dragged him into my office. We stripped the alcohol out for 3 weeks. He hated it. Week 4, his blood pressure dropped. His mood evened out. And for the first time in years, he remembered his dreams. That's REM sleep. That's repair mode. If you're drinking to sleep, you're burning your brain's wiring to get darkness. Stop. Now here's a subtle one. Eating too late. You finish dinner at 8:30. Climb into bed at 10. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. Digestion requires energy. It raises your core body temperature. Exactly the opposite of what your body needs to fall asleep. Your core needs to cool by at least 1 degree to initiate sleep. That's not a suggestion, that's biology. A woman I worked with, Ellen, 70, kept waking up drenched in sweat every night. Thought it was hot flashes. Turned out she was eating high-protein dinners at 9 p.m. Her body was working overtime just trying to digest. We pulled dinner back to 6 o'clock. Lighter meals. Within days, the sweat stopped. Her sleep deepened. Her energy in the morning skyrocketed. Food is fuel, but if you eat too close to bedtime, it becomes fire. You're forcing your body to stay active when it's begging to shut down. Finish your last bite 3 hours before bed. Non-negotiable. Let's move on to the bedroom itself. Your environment is speaking to your brain constantly. If your bedroom doesn't scream sleep, it's sending the wrong signals. Too much light. Your brain thinks it's daytime. Too much noise. Your brain stays alert. Too much clutter? Your brain interprets chaos. One man, George, 80, had 5 clocks in his room, each one ticking. One even had a second hand. I asked him why. He said he liked knowing the time. But every time he woke up, the first thing he did was check the clock. Then he'd calculate how much time he had left. That's not rest. That's pressure. I made him take out every clock except one. Turned it away from the bed. Within a week, his anxiety cut in half. You can't sleep in a space that feels like a scoreboard. And temperature matters. Your room should be cool, ideally between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, even if you're older. You're not a reptile. You don't need warmth to rest. You need your core body temperature to drop. I know some of you sleep with a heating pad, an electric blanket, even a space heater. I'm telling you now, that's making it worse. Switch to breathable fabrics. Lower the thermostat. Let your body do what it's designed to do. And one last, brutal truth. Your mindset around sleep is killing your sleep. If you spend all day worrying whether you'll sleep tonight, you won't. If you go to bed dreading the night, your body will respond to that dread with alertness. Your body believes your thoughts. Always. I had a woman named Claire, 66. She came to me trembling. Hadn't slept more than 3 hours a night in a year. She tried everything. Melatonin, sleep apps, meditation, you name it. But every evening, as sunset came, so did the fear. Her nervous system had learned that night meant danger. We did one thing. We stopped chasing sleep. Instead of going to bed to get sleep, I told her to go to bed to rest. Just rest. No goal. No pressure. It took time. But something shifted. The fear shrank. The tension broke. Her nervous system relaxed. And sleep started visiting again. You cannot force sleep. You can only create the conditions where it's safe to arrive. So let me ask you, what conditions are you creating? Are you inviting sleep, or are you chasing it like prey? That shift in mindset might be the biggest unlock you've got. Now, if you've made it this far, let me leave you with something you won't forget. Sleep is not a luxury for the privileged. It's not a treat. It's your right. It's a pillar of your biology. And it's within reach, even if you've been lost in the dark for years. But it won't come from another app. It won't come from a magic pillow or lavender spray. It comes from commitment, from behavioral choices made day after day, from facing the habits that feel harmless and breaking them with intention. You've heard the science. You've heard the stories. Now it's your turn. So tonight, don't just brush your teeth and shuffle into bed on autopilot. Ask yourself, what signal am I sending my brain? Is this the night I reclaim my sleep? Or is this another night I surrender? Make the choice. And if you're ready to take this seriously, do me one favor. Like this video. Share it with someone you know who's struggling. Drop a comment below with one change you're committing to tonight. Let's build this into a real conversation. One night at a time. One habit at a time. Because the truth is, you're not alone. And you're not broken. You're just ready. And it's time.